The buzzing fluorescent lights of the emergency room seemed to hum with Mar's anxiety. She held her 7-year-old son Diego's hand, each of his shallow, gasping breaths sending a wave of panic through her. His asthma attack had blindsided them at school, and now, in this cold, sterile waiting room, she felt the crushing weight of judgment. Earlier, an administrative clerk had approached her, her voice devoid of emotion. "We need to discuss payment options," she'd said. "The treatment your son requires. It's not covered." Mar knew this routine. She knew the shame that came next. The doors swung open and a new doctor, Dr. Carmen Reyes, approached with a clipboard. "Mrs. Vega?" she began, her eyes scanning the paperwork. "I see your son has been here 3 times this month. His asthma is clearly not being managed properly." The words were a slap in the face. Mara felt a hot flush of shame. I give him his medication when I can afford the refill. I work 2 jobs, but it's not enough, is it?" Dr. Reyes cut her off, her voice sharp. "Do you understand that your son could die from one of these attacks?" The waiting room had gone quiet. Mara could feel the stares of other families, their silent accusations piercing her heart. What kind of mother can't afford medicine for her child? "I'm doing everything I can," Mara whispered, her voice cracking. "I work from 6 in the morning until 2, then I clean offices from 4 until midnight. Every penny goes to Diego. Perhaps you should have considered these expenses before having a child," a sharp voice added. An older woman, waiting with her grandson, looked at Mara with pure disapproval. Mara's world blurred with tears. She wanted to scream about her husband leaving, about the economy crashing, about losing her teaching job. She wanted to tell them about the meals she skipped so Diego could eat, about the cardboard patching the holes in her shoes. But before she could say a word, a new voice cut through the tension. "Excuse me, but I couldn't help overhearing." Everyone turned. A man in his 60s, dressed in a well-tailored suit that seemed out of place, was walking towards them. His presence was commanding, but his eyes held a surprising warmth. He addressed Dr. Reyes directly. "Doctor, I'd like to cover the boy's treatment." "All of it?" Dr. Reyes blinked, stunned. "Sir, you don't understand the scope of." "I understand perfectly," he said, handing her a business card. "My name is Roberto Castillo. Call the hospital administrator. I'll be establishing an account for the family." Mara stared, speechless. I don't understand." "Why would you?" Roberto turned to her, a flicker of pain in his eyes. "Because I know what it's like to be judged for circumstances you can't control. And because once, a long time ago, someone helped me when I had nothing. I swore I would pay that kindness forward." The older woman scoffed. "This is ridiculous. You're just enabling her irresponsibility." Roberto's gaze hardened. "With respect, Ciora, you know nothing about this mother's struggles." He turned back to Mara. "How many hours a day do you work?" 18, she admitted quietly. "Sometimes 20. And when did you last have a full meal?" he asked gently. Mara couldn't remember. Roberto nodded, then looked at the older woman again. "Irresponsibility, Ciora would be giving up. This mother is working herself to death for her child. That's not irresponsibility, that's heroism." Dr. Reyes spoke, her earlier severity gone. "Mr. Castillo, comprehensive treatment for severe asthma could run into tens of thousands of dollars annually." "Then it's fortunate I can afford it," he replied, leaving no room for argument. "Please, make the arrangements, but why?" Mara's voice trembled. "You don't even know us." Roberto was quiet for a moment. "I had a son once," he said softly. "Gabriel. He had asthma too." The weight of those words filled the room. "We were poor, poorer than you can imagine. He had an attack one night, a bad one. We couldn't afford the medication. By the time we got him to a clinic, it was too late." The waiting room was now utterly silent. Even the older woman looked away, her face colored with shame. "After he died, I was angry," Roberto continued. "I worked like a man possessed, building an empire over 30 years. I became a millionaire, thinking money could solve everything. But I couldn't bring my son back. So I made a promise. Whenever I saw a parent struggling like I did, a child suffering like Gabriel did, I would help. I would be the miracle I once prayed for. Tears streamed down Mar's face. Thank you doesn't seem like enough, then just let me help, he said, glancing at Diego. What does your son dream of becoming? A small smile touched Mar's lips. An engineer. He's always taking things apart to see how they work. His teachers say he has a gift, but education costs money you don't have, Roberto finished. What if I told you that's going to change? He wrote his personal number on the back of another card. Call my office tomorrow. We're going to set up a trust fund for Diego's education, all of it, through university. And we're going to find you a single job that pays enough. Mara shook her head in disbelief. This can't be real. This doesn't happen. It does now, Roberto said, handing her the card. What good is wealth if I can't use it to change lives? To give other children the chances my son never had? Just then, a nurse called out, Diego Vega? The doctor is ready. As Mara stood, she turned back to Roberto. Why us? There must be thousands of families who need help. There are, he agreed. But today, I was here. I came to visit a friend and ended up in this waiting room. I heard a mother being torn down for sacrificing everything for her child. I can't ignore that. He ruffled Diego's hair. Besides, this young man reminds me of Gabriel. Same spark in his eyes. Diego, quiet until now, spoke up. Are you really going to help my mom? I really am, Roberto replied. Why? We can't pay you back. Roberto knelt down to the boy's level. You don't need to. But someday, when you're grown and successful, I want you to remember this. And when you see someone who needs help, I want you to be the person who steps forward. That's how you pay it forward, Diego nodded. I promise. As Mara walked with Diego toward the exam room, she looked back. Roberto Castillo stood there, a millionaire, yes, but more than that, a father turning his pain into purpose. And for the first time in years, Mara felt the light of hope breaking through the darkness. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please consider sharing it. You never know whose life you might change.